Hi, I have Stroman versus the Colleton County School District. This case discusses what is covered by the First Amendment and what isn't. And I will give you a quick summary. John Stroman was a teacher in the Colleton County School District, and the school district announced that they were going to be paying the teachers biweekly during the summer versus giving them a lump sum for their 3-month summer pay. John Stroman didn't like this, and and by the way, there was a budget crisis going on, which is why they had to do that. I don't know if I mentioned that. So due to the budget crisis, that's why they were going to have to be paying the teachers biweekly. John Stroman didn't like the idea of that. He wrote an open letter, distributed it to other teachers, encouraged them to engage in a sick out. He also complained that they had mismanaged funds and that they were top-heavy, or that, in other words, that there were too many administrators versus the teachers. So, but it's mainly calling for the sick out and encouraging other teachers to do that is why he was fired. So the school district got a hold of the letter. They confronted him, told him that this was against the school policy. It was dishonest to claim to be sick and you're not sick, and so he was fired. He sued the school district and claimed that his comments in the letter were protected by the First Amendment. Now, I had to read this case a few times to fully grasp what is covered by the First Amendment and what isn't. We hear all the time, First Amendment, freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want. Perhaps you can say whatever you want, but it's not always going to be protected. So we have to decide whether or not what John Stroman said in his letter is protected. So let's see. A state may not dismiss a public school teacher because of his exercise of free speech protected by the First Amendment. That is true. So what the First Amendment covers, though, is matters of public concern. So we have to decide whether or not John Stroman's comments were public concern or his own personal grievances. Now, there were some issues in his letter that were public concern that the judge who wrote this majority opinion mentioned, and such as concerns about the mismanaged funds, the top-heavy school district where they had too many administrators. But when he calls for the sick out, which is against school policy, that is not that's his own personal grievance, and it's not going to be protected by the First Amendment. So personal grievances, personal expressions, complaints about conditions, these are all matters concerned with self-interest and are not protected by the First Amendment. The teacher also has the burden of proving that the protected speech played a substantial role in termination or was a motivating factor. So because his personal grievance and asking that other teachers join him in his sick out, it's not covered by the First Amendment. He doesn't have a case for he doesn't have a case, and the First Amendment isn't going to protect him. So I had to read this case a few times. I wish that I could be there to sort of pick other people's brains about this, but I hope that I got this right, and if maybe Dr. Bates can add on to my summary. Okay, thanks everyone.